we're live. Ooh, no intro yet. It's like a cold open without the cold open, without us cold opening.
I still have the AC on. You never heard this before in the first 10 years.
You listen to one Dead show like this and you're like, these guys are the masters. These guys are the absolute masters of re-entry, of landing, of transitions. Like
Phil came back in, and then Bobby came in and took over basically and steered them back. Well, how about that? It had a little silent intro anyway. Welcome back. I am the Great Win, joined by T. Welcome, members. Still nobody on volume reached out to come on and talk a show with us. So what we're going to do is give you guys a whole month. We're going to let you guys pick the show, and then we're going to have some of you come on and talk, because that's the whole thing. We want somebody to come on and talk. And the show we have tonight is The Wall of Sound from 74 in Iowa, perhaps one of the best shows of that year. Perhaps one of the best shows they ever played, and definitely the premiere versions of a few songs.
Yeah. Yes to all of that. Yeah, what was it on the Rolling Stone list? 14, I think, on the 30
Right,
great.
yeah, 13 or 14, yeah.
Yeah, so inside the top 15, which is completely well-deserved. It even could have probably been higher. I mean, there are some real gems in this thing, some really special moments, some really, really deep set list that just keeps going and is packed full of hits, like ones you want to hear, but crazy versions of some of them, and then other ones that sound spectacular, even though they're not some of my favorite ones thrown in there, but they're great. Everything. What a show. What a show.
I tell you what, and this is a prime example, a showcase, if you will, of the brilliance of our man, Bill Kreutzmann, when he was left alone to his own devices to guide the band. That eyes, he's all over it, pushing it, that playing in the band, he owns it. He's guiding the band. I just feel like when you brought Mickey back, all of a sudden it was right ear, left ear stuff, and it wasn't Billy in his purest form, I guess.
It's so funny you say that, because I thought the same thing listening to it, and I even wrote down a bunch of times in the notes, like during that big river, I was like, Billy is just swinging, man. It is fantastic. And then like in that eyes, you're like, dude, Billy is just dry. Like it, he really did stand out in this. And it's so funny. All I could think of too in that picture that you have of it is when we talked to, what's the name about the Wall of Sound? And he talked about how Brian and Mike was, and Billy was like, you got to move me. I don't want to sit underneath that thing. So then he's sitting in the space where if it fell, it would be like the old Buster Keaton, where he stands in the doorway and it falls right,
and it would fall over him, right? Dude, I would be scared, man.
Oh, fuck yeah. That's a lot of speakers bearing down on you, a lot of noise, a lot of sound, and a lot of especially in the wind or something. But man, yes, Billy was an all-star in this thing. Mickey's great, but again, you run that argument of like this or that, or who, you know what I mean? Like same thing with Donna and the Haters, and so you can't really say whatever. But yeah, to your point about when he was left alone, there's some special stuff in there, and it was.
Oh no, it says 94 in the thumbnail instead of 74. I'll have to fix that.
Thanks,
thank you, Taboot is like our. Taboot is our editor.
Exactly. Totally. What's up, John, too? That's so funny. I didn't even notice that. I even posted it on mine. That's funny.
That's part of our problem, Taboot, is we don't have we need a proofreading system. But a lot of times we're so on the fly that it's.
I was going to say, Kev, I think there's two things, though. There's that, and there's also that you love to jump the gun and not wait for approval. Kev is very much an apologize later and not ask permission person. So he's like, I'm just going to push this out. And then you're like, Kev, you need to put this and this. And he's like, oh, I'll just delete it and fix it, put this in it. And you're like, okay. But yes, it's both. We don't have a proofreader editor, and you like to jump the gun a lot. So,
well, that's one of the first things they taught me in real estate. They're basically like, God, break the law. And if you get caught, say, I had no idea. I broke the law.
What do you mean that's illegal? Don't Collusion. I just get a slap on the wrist the first time? I'll never do it again. I promise.
Right. Collusion? What's that? I don't know what that means. God help us. All right, let's jump in. The recording that I listened to was on YouTube. Whole show is one thing, sounded really good, but there were definitely issues with the Bertha. The first 4 or 5 minutes of it, you couldn't even hear Jerry. I mean, it's solid, good opener, like a nice, get everybody grooving, like we always say. You want to get everybody up grooving, moving their butts for the first tune. So
yeah, I agree. I went through a bunch on the archive, trying to find a cleaner one and one that sounded good. I settled on one. I don't know, I can let you know in the comments who it was by. It was really good though, and yeah, the Berthas were all fucked up though. All of them had some audio issues on it going on. But yeah, to your
somebody
point, if
didn't
you're
press
there,
a button. Like,
yeah,
whoever was doing the soundboard didn't press the button for the vocal to come through. Was it Betty then doing it?
that was exactly
was she
what
that
it was.
early?
It's funny because that's exactly what it was. You're like, that's but yeah, after that it was fine. But if you were there, I'm sure it was great because Bertha's such a fun opener. Like, and it sets the tone for the show and gets you in the mood for what is to come in a classic. Like, again, this year it's one of those fun years because 74 is one of those in-betweeners, right? Like, it's not 73, it's not 76, it's not like, what was coming in 77. It's this weird in-between year, but when you dig in, there's some gems in there.
They had gotten so big. They had the Wall of Sound. They had Grateful Dead Records. They had the touring company where they did hotel packages for people and stuff like that. They had built into having 30 people on staff, and I think the strain was really one of them. I mean, that's why they stopped. They figure if we stop touring, we could focus on the other business interests, which they then looked at and said are going nowhere. Because, I mean, not only did they start their own record label, they started a second imprint, Round Records, for their solo stuff.
Right. So again, 74 to me was to find a gem like this in there, though, is one of those that you're like, oh, interesting. It's not one of those big years, but then you come across something like this and you're like, holy smokes, like this show just, where'd it come from? Like, amazing.
I mean, if the first set is pretty standard for back then. That could be a whole show once you got to the later years. Mexicali, I skipped. Mexicali, I skip it on principle. I know people try to defend the lyric, but I have daughters. I just can't go there.
It's a song, man. Like, it's one of my favorite Bobby tunes too. It's like Canceling the Stones and Black Sugar. I don't know. Find the mess. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, sure. I like it though. I've always liked that song, and it's a great in and two spot. And then a Road Jimmy, I know you're not a huge fan of Road Jimmy, so.
Well, you know what? I see Road Jimmy that early, and I fear that we're going to get a slow Jerry night, where it's going to be slow tune after slow tune, which didn't happen here. But in 72 to 74, there were those nights where you look at the set list and every Jerry tune is a ballad in like the whole set.
Yeah. But it also leads into things like tonight, though, where it sort of gets it out. He gets it out of the way and kicks the wheels off with that.
He does. I mean, Road Jimmy, poor Jimmy never got ashore. My favorite part of the song is really the last 2 minutes of it when they're like, ever since they tore the jukebox down, because it kind of picks up from this slow lilt to,
Right, so a little bit quicker beat in it. Yeah, a little bit, right? Yeah, okay. All right.
Have you ever heard the Decemberists cover that?
No.
It's fantastic. He gets the lyrics wrong. It was like a studio outtake kind of thing, and he gets the lyrics wrong, but it's really I mean, their instrumentation, I think, leans into that kind of song, They're going to do one more Saturday night. They're going to do a Beat It On Down the Line. Good for Bobby. I tried counting the beats, but I forgot by the time it started. I was like, I'm going to count the beats to see how many beats this is, and then next thing I know, I'm in the first verse.
A nice trade-off though of opening, Jerry Bobby here, going back and forth with the beginning of the set list, and then continues on with Jerry again, a 10-minute Scarlet basically.
I like Fireless Scarlets.
Yeah, I was gonna say, especially when you get like early in the first set like this, it's kind of cool that it just sort of drops in there and is its own thing.
Keith playing electric piano or organ or something. He was not, this wasn't another one of my knocks against Keith is you got into 78, 79, 77 even. He played piano on everything. And it was like another acoustic instrument instead of having the textures that a clavinet or a Wurlitzer or something will add to it. And yeah, the Scarlet's great. Scarlet is so great. All the pieces are there. You know, once it did find fire, that is a truly magical combination. But
sometimes it is nice to hear it on its own when it fills the void in there. And in this show, it gets a pass, especially because of how good it's not even in the, you know what I mean? You look at it, and you're like, oh, 10-minute Scarlet in the 4 slot, of course, or 5 slot, of course, is going to be one of the highlights of the show. And it's kind of buried on the list of highlights in this show, in just like the songs alone, but then in what some of those songs do in the jams, it's easily forgettable there. But I like it. I like it without the fire there, and I like kind of where it sits. So it was again a great version too.
Yep.
Just like
Black Motor Win, one of my all-time favorite Bobby tunes. I was so happy when they brought that back in '90, even though Bobby decided to rewrite the lyrics. So you were singing along, and all of a sudden you're singing a song that doesn't exist anymore.
Writer's prerogative there. I love it following Scarlet. I thought that was a cool little, again, Joey Bobby exchange for those two. And I think this show, to me, I said it more than 3 times on the back 9 especially. Some of my favorite Bobby songs are in this show. Like some of the best ones that I like hearing him play are in this show. So it's a really good show. Like I'm just gonna keep saying
the songs really do contribute, because sometimes we listen to all that Fish and people are like, that was fantastic playing, and I'm like, but look at the set list, what the hell was going on there,
right?
And on the other hand, the set list is fantastic and I love every song and I forgive a lot. I'm like, it's cool.
See, exactly. I agree. And that's why you sometimes get on me for talking about the story of the set list and the way it's constructed and stuff. But there is something to it. And in some shows, yes, when it's kind of odd, but the playing is great, it leaves you sort of like, well, yes, but why was that song there with this?
Right. We go full, Kerouac mode with Black Throated Wind, and then Sugaree. We go into this whole mood with the rest of the set there. The Sugaree was fantastic. I mean, Jerry loved that song. I think Jerry really, really loved playing Sugaree because it showed up with Jerry Band too. It was one of the few that got big play in both the projects,
Yep, completely. And it's it's one of those, I would not classify it as a fun Jerry song, but he did, like you said, he did like playing it. So I feel like he always had a little bit of like a twinge of a smile in his heart or whenever when he's playing. Right. Yeah, exactly.
Please forget you knew my name, because it's about a guy being a dog. Hey babe, we hooked up, but don't let's keep this on the DL.
Right. Don't tell you know me. Like you don't know me. Shh.
The great Marty Robbins. When I was growing up, there used to be this thing on Channel 45 in Maryland. They bought a whole collection of movies, right? Like all the old gangster flicks, the Cagney flicks, and every day they showed a movie called the 1 o'clock movie. And my babysitter would stick me in front of it when I was 6 years old. And they had the Marty Robbins commercial for Marty Robbins' Greatest Hits. So I knew El Paso. I mean, I totally knew that song the first time I heard the Grateful Dead play it. I was like, that's Marty Robbins.
I know this song. Wow. I love that. That's great. I know it's great when you hear other versions of this particular, because there's so many of them out there that it's like, and then you always kind of relate it to this because you've heard this so many times with their set list. But another great one, another great story song. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. And the set list is just banging at this point. Like it's just, I love it. Like you said, it could be.
They're ramped up. They're well over an hour into it, and they're like, all right, Jerry takes it slow. Breather tune, Must Have Been the Roses. It's one of Hunter's most gorgeous lyrics. I mean, it's one of those songs that you're like, was that written in 1600s England, or was that written yesterday?
Like it's more like, was it taken from a poem and turned into something? Like because it has that feel like 2 lines were a poem and then it created this song, or so it's just there's a live
another version.
One of those.
There's a live version of Hunter doing that, just acoustic. And in the middle, he adds Robert Browning's "My Love is Like a Red, Red Rose that late in summer bloom." And he says like 2 verses of the poem in the middle of it. So maybe there is some connection. That's where it came from.
Yeah, I would not be
Fantastic.
surprised. It's great. That's great.
Jack Straw is the champion of all story songs because after 1,000 listenings, still not quite sure what the narrative is. There's so many possibilities. It's like choose your own adventure wherever your head is in that. Because Shannon can be a woman's name too. People forget that.
Mm-hmm.
That Bob Weir's live person may be talking to a girlfriend.
I like the choose your own adventure. It almost is like separate storylines going on, or storylines that could have separated off of the main plot that you know. So
Yep.
Yeah, it's such a great, and it's got such great sound to it, like the build and so it's got the lyrics that you're listening to, but then it's got this great drive in it. And again, with Billy pushing it, it's just one of those that this is the straight sort of, I always say it was some of the fish shows and stuff, but this is like the straight gas part of the show, right? You get this Jack Straw, the China Rider with that jam that we're going to get into in a second, and then around and around, like just, and like you said, they're ready to take off. Like they come out of that El Paso, get through the roses, which kind of like sets the table for that. All right, here we go. And
we're going to straight right gas the rest of the set here for you guys. Yes, we are going to get pop here, but let's get into this China Rider.
Yes,
we got 2 clips that we're going to listen to right after. Normally after China Cat, they go into there's a piece of music they go into that builds the rider, and they drop into rider. Most riders were like 10, 11 minutes by the 80s, you know, and it sounds like they're going to go into that here, but Garcia and Weir start going at it a little bit, and Garcia takes it out. So we're just going to listen to that.
Oh, it's great.
And then we have the second clip. The second clip, we'll just play them back to back, and let's just get real popped.
Yep.
And the second.
Beautiful. It's so funny the way it was set up. You know, like, all right, we're in. And
Top 5.
We're gonna go out and detour it.
Gotta be a top 5 China Rider. Gotta be.
Gotta be. Definitely. I mean, yes, by all accounts.
Around and around. Bob Weir liked to do Chuck Berry tunes. I don't quite understand it, but no, man. He wanted to do rock. One More Saturday Night is basically a Chuck Berry tune that Bobby wrote. You know, I mean, he wanted to be the rock and roll guy. And in his mind, rock and roll was early 60s and 50s rock and roll. You know?
Exactly.
Which is a weird. It seems like a very quaint time in music. You know, Brando's got a leather jacket on, you know, it's.
Yes. It's kind of, it's like that whole, I'm sure that there's a reason for that, because that was kind of his era of being introduced into rock and roll, not music. And so that's sort of what he associated with or knew. And so, you know, it's like all of those, like Big Bopper and like that kind of music before that kind of led into that 50 stuff and that Chuck Berry sound, and that, you know, all those songs that were like Chuck Berry ripoffs in all those years too, that were throughout there, that were songs like that, which basically, like you said, One More Saturday Night could fit right in there in that time period by somebody. So
Beach Boys were big at ripping off.
There you go.
All right. It's anything on volume going on? Do we even have anybody over there?
Let's see. Mr. Bungle is there. Of course.
There we go.
I was watching the set list. I was looking at timings on the set list over there. He's not a gentleman.
You know what, guys?
So I don't have much of an opinion. But he went to see Dogs on Sunday night in Ashbury. How was the show?
Nice.
He has a comment about the crowd. He said the crowd was quite awesome, I will say. But I wonder, how was the show? We love dogs. Dogs.
Brian was talking about how excited they were for that.
For that show.
You know?
Almost a hometown show. So that's very cool. I bet the energy in there was great.
You know what's going to happen, T? Tomorrow, the next day, getting a laptop. Got a $90 laptop, triple what's needed for StreamYard. Looking at their numbers, they wanted 4. I got 16.
Game changer, people.
Right.
Game
So I will be
changer.
able to look directly at volume on my big monitor and have the other over here. And
oh my God, things are changing, people. This is like
it's a new dawn.
5
It's
years
a
in
new
the
dawn.
making. It's a new dawn. It's a new day. It's a
I
whole
tell you
new
what,
win.
this may be one of the best sets of music they ever played. And I'm just, I mean, US Blues, great. You know, that was their new tune. It was kind of their hit. Cool opener.
Yeah,
Races on.
fun in that
Towards the end of-
slot. Fun in that
Yeah.
slot because you don't get it there. So fun in that slot to just come out and play it, and that's fun. And the race is on again. The set list construction is so funny, and another one that you're not, 74 and yay, and that's. I used to love when you'd get this on random bootlegs and you'd be like, "Oh, fun," like or like the Monkey and the Engineer. I always loved having that song on like tapes that were like on those set lists, and you'd be like, "All right, get one of those tonight." So fun.
Right. Races
Eyes.
on. Yeah, the eyes. It has to be the centerpiece of the show.
Yes. Yeah.
It's simply fantastic. The set list that all the ones I saw just list Eyes of the World. They do not stick King Solomon's Marbles in. But let's listen to that first clip because I feel like it's undoubtedly. No, actually, oh no, that's the second clip. The first clip, let's listen to the first clip. In the first clip, I guess the comment on this is how much Billy and Phil together owned Eyes of the World in 1974. And that's what we're going to listen to a little bit with this first clip.
Yep. Okay. Jam in there like that. Like it gives it this extra depth, this extra layer that Eyes on its own is Eyes. It's top 2 songs for me. Like I love it. It's perfect. But when it has the extra mustard or the extra sauerkraut or the little extra juice in it, you're like, oh, spectacular. And this one is just, there's so many things right. It's almost 20 minutes and almost a 20-minute jam, which would be all over, with fish and shit. So like, it's just such a wonderfully deep, organic, wonderful Eyes.
Right. The second clip we're going to listen to going into King Solomon's Marble just because I absolutely love it. One of my favorite things. And if you notice, the King Solomon's got so out of hand, we were left with only one eye. When they went back in.
We dropped an eye. We dropped the S.
You can lose an eye playing marbles.
We lost an eye. Careful out there. You got to wear a patch.
We got popped for trying to ride her twice.
Did you do that fade?
Huh? Yeah.
Did you put that fade on there? That was nice. Nice fade out
you.
there.
Thank
Very
you.
nice. Well done. Well done.
I am.
But that's what I was saying. Getting both of those in the same show in the different sets, like those 2 jams are so spectacular. Like it's those special little moments of those jams because you don't really get that King Solomon's in the Eyes like that. It's just spectacular. I love it.
Right.
I love it.
In 73, you ended up getting a lot of slower songs out of Eyes. You would get like a China Doll. And those Eyes China Dolls are just simply sublime. But tonight we got a Big River. Should have an arrow there, but that's not the way it was wherever I lifted the set list from. Great choice. And again, like you said, what were you saying about Billy on that?
It's like that transition to dropping into it was so fun because it's not like really expected and you're kind of wondering where it's going. And then it kind of drops into a Big River and it just moves. Like it's such a fun song that really keeps the pace up after that Eyes, which was so spectacular. It keeps you going. And man, Billy is just swinging like you can't. It's so good to listen to. Like Billy is just on fire and I love it. It's so great. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Bungle says real quick, he said, yeah, the show's badass. He's like, if it's one of those, if they play, I would 100% see them again. And then he said, thanks to us, he probably wouldn't have been at the show if it wasn't for us on the channel. We got him into dogs, like wanting to go see him. I will take that compliment. That's awesome. That's what we're here for, to introduce new good music to everybody. So that's rad. I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad you went.
Love that. The space jazz continuum is rocked for 30 minutes almost with this playing in a band. I did not cut any clips from it because I really feel like it's one of those pieces of music you need to cut out a half hour of your day and sit down and listen to
It
it straight.
doesn't, it's hard. It doesn't make sense when you pull it out because it's hard to pull out a section of like the breakdown of the jam to be like, oh, we got here by going through and it just, yeah, you have to listen to the whole progression and where you end up and then where you go from there. Because I was just going to say, I'm sure you loved this one because it's just, it goes out
It's
about
a showcase
6 or
for Billy
7.
again. Right, Billy is
Yeah.
allowed to be free instead of having to do what Mickey's doing to make it, you know.
Right. And I mean, they go out of that jam about 6 or 7 minutes in is when the jam starts, and they don't come back into the end of the song until about the 27-minute mark. So, like, it's a long time of exploring a lot of space in this thing. And you have 2 great Donna screams, one in the first half of the song, and then one coming out of the breakdown of everything
Right.
to drop us back into the song, which after she does her intro scream, the drop back in is just pure dead magic that we love and know so well about their reentries, and just like boom, right back in, and
Right.
it's
I
fantastic.
I think maybe part of the issue with Donna, people say she's, you know, she was loud and all that. I don't think she was ever mixed well. One, that's one problem. Never had and she never had monitor of her own. I mean, if you listen to, like, she was on songs with Elvis. She sang backup vocals for Elvis. She was a fantastic vocalist, but they turned her up way too loud because she only came in for little sections
Right.
instead of it being mixed like Bobby, that you can have a whole song to play with it, you know, to get it dialed in.
And she comes in like, yeah, hot, loud a lot. So it's, yeah. But I like it. Like her, it's those entries, and you get used to it. So then you kind of miss it, when you hear the song without her and you kind of fill it in your head or scream it yourself, and you're like, "Wah!" Or when Bobby tried to fill it in sometimes and doesn't quite hit like she does, like she just crushes it. It's yeah.
When he was jacked up in the 80s. Make sure you like, if you anybody watching this later on, either, well, you can on volume. Damn. We're meeting with volume again in the morning. We get all our talk. But leave a comment if you're on YouTube. Let us know what you think if you're watching this later. Um, I tell you what, after that second set, um, you're kind of feeling, I would think, wore out. And this third set turns into almost like a first set.
Yeah. Yeah, I think worn out's a good word. You're like, wait, that plane wasn't the end of the show, or like the end of like where there's more and there's a whole other set of more. It's almost like a New Year's show or something that you're just like, there's this third set, and I gotta okay. Okay. I mean, the Jed's good. It's a well-paced Jed. It's a fun, it's kind of sets that tone of the set too. It's a little bit slow, like prodding opening salvo of a Jed that kind of is like a slow strutting Jed is what I wrote down. Yeah, it's good. I
Is.
like the opening. It's just a funny,
Right.
like it's with strutting.
Right, another, you know, short cowboy tune from Bobby. You know, I think almost sometimes back then Bobby didn't have the vast catalog that Garcia did, so he was, you know, trying to do every other song sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love Me and My Uncle though. It reminds me of Jack Straw. It's that story, it's
yeah,
that
I love
story,
that.
and like the Western
Left
and
his
leaving his
dead ass.
dead ass. Yeah, it's so great. Taught him so well. It's a great story. I love it. Yeah, it's a great one. And
Yeah,
then Deal. It's like the perfect continuation. Like I love this little, again, this feels like a first set. So it's funny to get this bonus third set with these songs in it. But Deal's such a great follow-up to Me and My Uncle. It's almost should be flipped. Deal's almost like the beginning of the story to Me and My
right,
Uncle, like so
right.
I love it though. Jerry just rips it. Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
It is greatest story. I love greatest story. That
He
was the
really,
beginning of
one
the
thing about that
fallout.
deal though, Kev, like real quick to go
Yeah,
back to, I wish I had pulled
yeah,
the clips of it because it's so great. The last 2 minutes, Jerry, when he goes on the how the Andy always goes on fire, like
right.
foot on the gas to go. There are some really great "Don't You Let That Deal Go Downs" in there. Like he has some great like deal, like the way he belts it out. It's so good. So like if you get the chance and you're like a love of Jerry, the end of that deal is really really good with him belting out a couple of those deals and really getting into it. And again, like we talked about in the first set, how he kind of like gets into things and has that little twinkle and that little strut, that little he has it in Deal a lot of times too, because that end of it, he just loves to like punch it sometimes, and this is one of those examples. So yeah, I just wanted to get that because I loved it.
Greatest Story. The thing with Greatest Story, it pissed Hunter off because he had Moses on a guitar, and Hunter was very much, that's the motif of the song is wood. You know, there's a door in it and things like that. But I mean, the Hunter Weir collaborations were always very successful. I mean, Jack Straw, this, you know, it's a short one. I love it though. I'm a big fan. I would have taken a Greatest Story. I always thought that should have been a set 2 closer. Would have been a great way to close second sets instead of an around and around or something.
I sent you that one version of the other day, and I was like, I like this version so much. Like, this is such a cool version of it. It was, I don't know, it's just never Bobby, the way Bobby sings it, and just that song. It feels like, again, almost like that era of the Chuck Berry song, you know, sound of that rock and roll.
Album. Right. It's on his solo album, you know.
Yeah. So yeah. I've just never been a fan of that. And whenever it was on a tape, I would always like fast forward. Next song.
It's fantastic. Ship of Fools. There's your cool down song.
Yeah.
I'm okay with Ship of Fools.
It's
I felt it was, I felt that it was cheesy every time they played RFK. They did it because it was a political thing, you know. Congress with the Ship of Fools.
Yeah.
All right, this Truckin. I mean, Truckin itself around this time, 72 to 74, was such a monster. But I mean, it was the song itself. The first clip we're going to listen to is them going out of trucking and then immediately finding the Nobody's Jam.
All right, I'm hitting the right button.
It's the one that says truck.
Yep.
All right. And then I guess the other thing we're going to listen to is something else not listed, and I didn't put it there either, but I believe this is a Mind Left Body jam in this second clip. And if not, it's some other piece of music that I know I've heard repeatedly from them. So if somebody's like, no, it isn't that, do the other.
This is what it is. And then the right into the transition of Rat.
It's so just effortless. That's why I don't get with Fish sometimes when they do these train wreck segues, when something like that just it's out of thin air. It just happened.
And it's so smooth. We talk about it all the time with their transitions, how they're just so buttery. It's so smooth out of chaos and out of whatever, and going way out into the deepest necks of whatever, and then just coming in, or even not, even just staying in these like weird little zones, and then it just drops right back into the song seamlessly. And you're like, where, how? And yes, and then you listen to Trey sometimes, and he's ripcording and shred and coming out and then being like, and you're like, what, ow, what just happened?
Oh, that's what that's a group thing. It's group think as opposed to Fish really does have a leader. Everyone said Garcia was the leader of the band, but he would have said no way. And I think if you ask Trey, he would say, yes, I am the leader of Fish.
You know what it reminds me of a lot is when what's his name from Dogs was telling us that there's a lot of study. When Brian was like, how much study goes into it, and how they'd sit around the piano and like learning and knowing and like really playing together and understanding where you are in the song, who's doing what. It's so crazy how I feel like the Dead were just on another level of that, and knowing where each other were, and knowing how to get back, and knowing how to bring themselves back seamlessly like that. And I think that's one thing that when you watch Bobby with Mayer and stuff, he gets a little frustrated or worried that they're not going to land it right or get it back, or John's going like not what Jerry would do or where Bobby wants him to be. It gets a little bit old man on him, you know, like we see a lot. And like,
well, I think Bobby is the leader of Dead and Company.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, come on.
If you asked him, he might not say he was, but I mean, he's the de facto, you know, and Garcia never felt like that.
They would say he was. I think they would all agree with that though, and say he
was. I bet Bobby would have said he was the leader.
There you go.
Even back in the Grateful Dead days in the 80s, it was Bobby's band, man. Come on. The shorts, the Madonna shirts, the pink guitars. he was big rock and roll.
He was kind of in the center guy too. Like, come on, he was sort of the lead singer, in there. So yeah. Yep.
Absolutely crazy. All right, guys, thanks for watching.
Wait, we didn't do the last three. We got to just say real quick that Wharf part was fantastic.
Right.
Yeah, going down the road, feeling bad. Kevin's ready to ripcord. Kevin is ripcord. See, it seemed like you're like Trey. You're just like, I'm ready to go. Like, I don't know where we are in the set. Just, I'm out.
Oh, great closer. That's a fantastic way to close. And at that point, you're just like, you're so worn out. You're a rubber band. You're like, yeah.
Yeah, I know. And the going down the road is such a great, it's almost 10 minutes of a great, the speed after the slow song, like Wharf you need after everything, because you're just like, okay, yes, we can calm, we can have the build. Going down the road, you're like, okay, it's over. This is a great way to end it. Jam what's left in my legs out. And then a Casey Jones to really top it all off is sort of like mixing that greatest hits with some of their other like songs to this.
At what point did Casey Jones disappear? I mean, I was there in 92 when they broke it back out at RFK, but it had been gone. Did they even play it with Brent? Did it disappear with Keith? It was too on the nose when they were all jacked up in the early 80s.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like, we can't just give it away and sing about doing like, so yeah, I don't know. It's funny though, because again, when you get the Truckin and the Casey Jones in those sets, I always think those are such fun sets because it's just like two of those songs that are such big builders and fun lyrics and pure Dead, really, on that other side of Dead. So
great way to close it.
What a fantastic show, Kev.
Overall, I would say that Rolling Stone should have made this probably 8 or higher. I really think having looked at that list a couple more times, that this show is the epitome of where they were in that moment. I mean, lots of great shows from this tour, and other people might say some are better, but I think just the whole idea, like the Creamery in 72, it's just the whole vibe. They're playing in Iowa and Des Moines, and they play for 4 hours and do 3 sets, and it's just incredible. And again, it's like 74, this off, like kind of time, like where you feel like it's off time, but you wouldn't know it living it, like being in there. And I was a month old at this point, just over a month old. So I like to think that at least I was on the earth living when this was put out into the universe. Like you always like to say, like, it was nice to be a part of the world when this was played, because this is just a really magical show, man. This show, I agree, it could easily be inside the top 10. I would say for sure it should be inside the top 10, because there is some every set has a special jam in it, and every song is played very well in this show. There's not one song where you're like, nah. I mean, there's ones that maybe you don't like Greatest Story, I'm not a huge fan of, but it's not played poorly at all. It's still right.
It's great.
Exactly. Just because it isn't your favorite song doesn't make the performance bad. You can't knock.
Right. And I would say this is one of those shows where you can go down the list and be like, everything works, like everything is firing, everything sounds good. They hit everywhere, and some of them get especially good, and others get especially good. So
top tier versions. There are a couple top 10 versions. The Playin's a top 10 version. The Eyes top 10 version. Yeah. I mean, like the China Rider might even be a top 3 version. I've really been racking my brain. There's around this time, there's just so many fantastic ones,
Yep.
So
yeah. But it's definitely inside that when you talk about that and remember certain ones are definitely within that top 3, 4 that that pops to mind, that you're like, oh my God, yeah, because there's that in it. So yeah. Yeah, right on. I love it. Great show.
Right, tomorrow night we got Mike Ayers coming on, everybody, and you're gonna want to tune in. We have a huge announcement. It's another level for WOOK Plus. We're trying something we've never done before. Thursday we're gonna have Makita on, and hopefully T will be on as our host, and we're going to tier all 21 Hampton shows. Tonight I will be spending my night making some thumbnails for that. So we have cute little pictures of each one. Nice. So you want to check that out. And then Michael Weiss Friday morning, it's pre-recorded. I like to do a short thing on Friday. And then next week, we're back with
more fish.
Actually, I might not be here for that first show, T, because Dylan's playing. Dylan, and I
know.
promised the kids. So
Hey, I
all right,
got the chat. I can run it alone, man. I got the chat. They
mm,
call me the glue and the WOOK plus magnet, so I can bring it. I
mm,
will be there for them. Do not
there you
fear.
go. Give me the signal that I can do the out.
All right, thanks, guys. This was fun. We're gonna take a few weeks off of WOOK Club, so we'll be back post tour, right, Kev? We're gonna skip because it would be 2 weeks.
The 30th.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
we're skipping
we'll
until
do
then.
one
So
the
we'll see you
30th. And
guys.
what we want from all of you is right. Let us know which show that you want to hear. Go on the Discord or leave a comment on the YouTube and say, this is the fish show I want to do. And we're going to pick one of those. And let us know if you want to come on and talk about it.
Yeah, your reason for picking it, and if you would want to come and talk about the highlights that you saw on it or why you picked it or whatever. We'd love to have more company, more conversation on these. Make it more like the book club, like we were saying. So,
We
all right,
want to
guys,
play with
thanks a
new
lot.
layouts.
We will see you soon. Yeah, new layout. All right, run it, Kev.
What's up, dog?
There we go. What's up,
End it.
Doc? Oh, my
You didn't
bad.
end it.